The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, are of my own and no one else, nor do they reflect Beyond Ringside. So, ladies and gentlemen, due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night right here on Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. I'm the Oracle of Ominous, the architect of intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Joining me tonight is my producer extraordinaire, the host of Beyond Ringside, Fast Eddie Layne. Eddie, how you doing tonight, sir?
Wonderfully well. It's been a great day and a great night. First off, thank you to everybody who is listening in through the Beyond Ringside Radio app, available for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry. Apple right now, please check out TuneIn Radio's mobile app. You can find us on a channel on TuneIn. Wick?
And the man that just come onto the line, one half of the GCW Tag Team Champions, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock. Braddock, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, man. Just sitting in this nice, cool Georgia air, having a good old time. Tonight sponsored by Big Bamboo. Big Bamboo, the best for you.
Of course, we wouldn't expect anything less. And our guest this evening, a man all the way over in Ireland. This man is part of WrestleView International Desk. He does a ton of great work. Go and check out WrestleViewRadio.com. He is also a bassist extraordinaire. Yes, we're going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk about wrestling in the UK. We're going to talk about the Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about his site. And, of course, we're going to talk a little bit metal. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, Darragh O'Connor. How you doing tonight, Darragh?
Good, guys. Good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure.
We appreciate you coming on. I know it's very, very early in the morning or very late, depending on how you look at it. We're going to jump straight in now. Okay. You have an amazing site over there. You're a part of one of the best sites I've seen in a long time pertaining to wrestling, WrestleView. What is the motto of WrestleView? How did WrestleView come about, sir?
WrestleView's been around for a while. It's been around since 1997. I've only recently joined it back in 2010. And we kind of launched the WrestleView International Desk around that time in 2011. So I can't speak so much about WrestleView, but I can only speak about my website and what we do there. We do the WrestleView International Desk. wvidesk.com is where you guys can find us there. The motto of that, well, there's loads of wrestling radio shows out there, lots of wrestling websites. We want to kind of look forward and look back. So basically providing unique content for everybody there. You know, if you guys are into WWE, cool, TNA, grand, but we also like to look back at ECW and at WCW in particular, because, my motto is, if you don't know your past, you're going to repeat it. And as we've seen, the fall of WCW is mirrored in modern day WWE. So that's why we like to do, our motto is kind of present history for everybody to kind of look at and then learn from.
Now, how long have you been a wrestling fan, and what got you into wrestling as a fan?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been a wrestling fan most of my life. I don't remember a time when I didn't watch wrestling. I got into wrestling, like most people, through an older family member. So my cousin was really into wrestling, so I ended up watching it with him. But I can't remember specifically when. I just remember it always being on. And then, watching it during the Federation years, I'd go over to the States a lot, watch a lot of WCW. I didn't really like the Federation years that much, so I always would draw more to the WCW product. And then when I got a little bit older, they used to show WWE here on Sky Television, so I ended up watching a lot of the shows on Saturday mornings. So that's how it happened. I ended up as a really big wrestling fan around the time of the Attitude Era, with the WWE anyway, and it just took up from there. So growing up, it was all WCW for me. And then I ended up just a huge WWE fan when the product got better, in my opinion.
Now, you talk about WCW. We are in the Southeast, so WCW is very near and dear to our hearts. Who was your favorite in WCW?
Oh, well, I'm going to be honest. The Cruiserweights. You know, as a kid, you're just like, look at all this stuff. You know, it's colorful, it's fun, it's just interesting. You know, it's appealing to watch. And then, you know, you had the NWO stuff as well. I remember buying my first NWO Wolfpack shirt when I was on holidays in Orlando, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So, you know, obviously, short answer, all the Cruiserweights. But then, you know, I was really a big Chris Jericho fan, and the stuff he did there as well. But yeah, that would mainly be it. You know, I never liked Hulk Hogan. If people listen to my show, they'll know I can't stand the guy. I honestly cannot. So that would be the short answer. You pick any Cruiserweight from the heyday of WCW, and you're in for a good time.
Now, when you say Chris Jericho in WCW, I think legally we have to say armbar.
I like it. A man of 1,004 holds.
I mean, to go to a commercial break and still see this man running down, you know, the number of holds he does, and armbar was so funny to me. I laughed so hard. Jericho, of course, was one of my influences getting into wrestling. So that's very funny that you would point out Chris Jericho. He was on a whole nother level. Lionheart, Chris Jericho. A lot of those cruiserweights were, and you can point to Mike Tenay now with TNA is bringing in a lot of those guys, and Jim Ross for, you know, going against the grain and kind of setting up the cruiserweight division. Even though he was with WWE at the time, he allowed people like Brian Pillman. He allowed people like Jushin Thunder Liger and Great Muta to come in, which I was always a fan of Muta because he was against Sting, Mick Foley, and Big Van Vader. I was never a Sting fan. I respect Sting, but I was never a Sting fan. So to have all that, all of those people against him just always stood out to me. So I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, the interesting thing about Sting, I was a big Sting fan growing up, but it got progressively better. Like, initially, I didn't really like Sting. And then as the years grew, by the time WCW closed its doors, I was a huge Sting fan. That continued into WWA, which was a touring promotion based out of Australia. Came to the UK and Ireland twice. I was at both of those shows, got to see Sting live in his prime, and that was unbelievable. Now, you know, anybody who was on the WVI shows going all the way back from show one, I started to bring Sting to the WWE campaign. That's how much of a Sting fan I'm one of those guys that always wanted to see Sting in the WWE, you know, so I'm a huge Sting fan. A Sting mark, even some would say, and, you know, I'm proud to admit that.
Well, you know, you spoke about Hulk Hogan, so immediately I have to throw it to my co-host, a man that has a velvet painting of Hulk Hogan in his house, thanks to his wonderful fiancée, Amanda Braddock. Clyde, we start talking about Hogan, so we have to speak about your thoughts on Hogan.
Well, as I got older as a wrestling fan and as I got into the wrestling business, you know, Hogan's wrestling is horrible. I will go out there and say that. He's not the best wrestler on the planet. But the way he talked, the way he was, the time period that he came up in, and what he was selling, everybody was buying. So I can't deny him for that fact. You know, and I mean, even in NWO, he one of the most hated heels, I feel like, of all time at the time. You know, I mean, and it's just for him to be that successful as a heel and a babyface, that says a lot. But as far as wrestler, my God, he was one not very good, which I take pride in because with my amateur background and all that, I take a lot of pride in the wrestling that I do. But if it gets over, hell, he's doing the right thing. But I do love my velvet painting of Hulk Hogan right above my mantle. He looks at me every day. He gazes into my eyes every day.
He's stalking you.
He's not stalking me because I let him in my house.
See, I just need to clarify. It's not. I don't have a problem with Hogan in ring. You know, I get it. It's different. It was a different time and stuff like that. You know, my problem with Hogan is that as a person, you know, he's a horrific person. You know, in my opinion, he's one of the reasons why WCW collapsed. You know, creatively. And also TNA. When he was in TNA, he did more damage than anything to date.
I'll second that.
Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
We will all
Right,
say
which I mean, and of course, like I completely agree with you there. Like many people that I've met that are wrestlers, like for one, AJ Steele, he can't stand Hulk Hogan because he's met him 3 times and Hulk Hogan has still not spoke to him once. Like yeah, and like you said, all the damage that he did in there, I think that. Personally, I think he was with Vince the whole time. You know, I mean, at first it was about making money, and then once the money started going away, he wanted more money.
Yeah.
So I honestly do think that him and Vince McMahon had a big role in the collapse of WCW, ECW, and you know, and not TNA so much as collapse, but they really dropped off. I'll put it that way. As far as fans,
let's put it this way. And there's 4 points on Hogan and TNA. He got rid of the ring. He killed interest in the product.
Yep.
Like for TNA, totally. He turned it into a joke, and he never put anyone over. And I don't mean that as who did he ever beat? Literally, he had a chance to give the biggest rub to Alex Shelley when he won that belt. No, sorry, to Chris Sabin when he won that belt. And what happened? Nothing. He put himself over. Disgusting. The man is disgusting.
But that's what Hogan does. See, and that's why I was one of those people. I was born in 79. I have been a wrestling fan since 87. I was a huge Bobby Heenan fan. Bobby Heenan is the reason I got into wrestling. Bobby Heenan, point blank. You look at everything in my career, there would not be a Wicked Nemesis without Bobby Heenan. And he would point out things on commentary, especially with Gorilla Monsoon and in his promos when he was managing, and you would be like, you know what, he's right. I think he held back so many people. And that's what a worker doesn't do. That's the difference between a wrestler and a worker. A worker makes everybody on the card better. A wrestler goes out and wrestles. And that is the complete difference in a wrestler and a worker. A worker works. A wrestler wrestles. And he held back so many people. You look at Jake the Snake. You look at Flair when Flair came in to WWF at the time. You look at Piper. You look at Jimmy Snuka. Snuka was my first favorite wrestler. All these guys that come in, Macho Man especially.
Macho, yeah.
He would hold them back, and he would always stay at the top. See, and that's why I have more respect for John Cena. To me, John Cena is the greatest sports entertainer of all time because Cena, say what you will, has put over a ton of guys. He has put over so many young guys. It is unbelievable. Your thoughts on it?
Okay.
Oh, God, here we go. Here we go. Okay, Eddie, what do you got to say about that before I toss it to our guest?
Okay. You're going to say that John... Okay, I will agree that to an extent John Cena has put over a number of people. But there are also a number of people that John Cena, their match series or match with him has been a breaking point. But you also have to remember, during the Stone Cold live broadcast when Vince McMahon was sitting in that chair and he made the comment that Cesaro does not connect with people. Part of the problem is Vince. Hogan, he's his own animal. He's screwed up bird from square one. His ego is bigger than the California coastline, the state of Alaska, the Continental Divide. Take your pick. my hangover on an average Sunday morning. But by the same token, Cena's working in that same area because he picks and chooses who he will put over and who he won't. So he's not perfect either, sir.
No, hold on. Even Paul Heyman, the great Paul Heyman, said in his interview with Stone Cold that Cesaro, all he needs to do is connect with the fans. What the fans want. And Darragh, you and Brian Zane covered this as well in your interview with Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret on YouTube. You both covered this, the fact that the fans are so wishy-washy. They like something 1 minute and the next minute they don't. I believe that John Cena has helped more careers, and I say he's the greatest sports entertainer because when the entire world was in an economic collapse, you might as well go ahead and say it, the second Great Depression, it wasn't a recession, John Cena helped all of us in the business, and I was one of them, make money because John Cena was on top, and he put little kids. My son was a huge John Cena mark until he got older. But the fact that he put asses in the seats in WWE trickled down to the independent scene. Did it happen that way in the UK as well, sir?
Okay. A couple of things. One, John Cena is the second coming of Hulk Hogan.
Thank
I'm just
you,
going to say
God.
that. And he's way more protected than Hogan, as in people haven't realized his shtick yet. They haven't realized that he is working backstage. He's deciding who gets to go over. Now, you mentioned Nemesis, that he's put over a number of people. Well, let's just look into that. Punk. If Punk didn't go over, people would have literally just stopped watching. Punk put himself over. Danny O'Brien put himself over by being a fantastic worker. It was, anyone who we put over, it wasn't that he said, I'm going to make him. It's like, no, if we don't give the fans that, they're going to just leave. And that's where, so yeah, I agree to a point he's put people over, but he really had no choice. It's, it's the realistic version of, RVD winning the WWE belt in 2006, if that wasn't kayfabe, Has he put asses in the seats? Yes, to an extent. When you go to a WWE show in Ireland and the UK, loads of Cena fans are there. They're kids. They're like 4 to 8, but there's booze. There's a lot of booze.
Amen.
A lot of people just don't like the guy. And it's not like they don't like him because he's a bad character. They don't like him because he's not relevant. He's never changed in ring. Yeah, he's okay, but I've seen his work as the prototype. I know he can actually wrestle, but he chooses not to, and that's what the fans are starting to realize now. They want something different, and now there's this undercurrent with the WWE where it's just like, well, they like to troll the fans, they like to screw with them. It's like, hey, this is what you want, fuck you, we're going to give you something else. And that's always been seen as mentality. And over here in the UK and Ireland, we've never liked that. We that's why TNA is so big over here. People want something different. That's why the UK independent scene is so big. They don't like being disrespected. They don't like having it shoved down your throat. And since day one, when I started in the internet wrestling community or in the wrestling media, I started off in a show where the narrative was, John Cena is the worst thing ever. And I will admit that he isn't the worst thing ever, but he's never helped himself. He's never got himself past the hatred of, quote, real wrestling fans, who aren't kids. He's always bought into that, and that's why people resent him. It's more a resentment rather than a hatred of John Cena.
Well, let's call what it really is. John Cena's not the second coming of Hulk Hogan. He's the third coming of superstar Billy Graham. Because to me, Hulk Hogan was the second coming of superstar Billy Graham.
What?
You look at all the promos that Hogan did in the 80s, and he stole everything from superstar Billy Graham. Superstar Billy
got
Graham.
more colors on me than the rainbow in the sky, Daddy.
Exactly. And he said he had 22-inch pythons when Hogan said he had 24-inch pythons.
Eddie, are you okay?
No!
That was a lie.
One of the best promos I ever heard was superstar Billy Graham.
Eddie is
The
not
the microwaves will be coming down, brother. That's why I keep this illustrious tan. That was superstar Billy Graham. A big muscled up guy. The thing is that territories. It goes back to territories.
Yeah.
You talk about Punk, you talk about Daniel Bryan. These are guys, and Cesaro, I feel as well. The reason why they're so awesome is because they went around the world. They toured at all the bigger independent promotions. You look at what they're pumping out right now in NXT. A lot of the guys in NXT were at Ring of Honor. They were formerly in TNA, so they had that opportunity to go and do other things before they went to WWE. I think Curtis Axel has the worst job imaginable because of who his father was and the fact he immediately went into WWE. Bray Wyatt has been a breakout star because he did his own thing, even though we all know his father was IRS. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the ending of the territory system, and not even the territory system to an extent, but the having real competition. Like I love TNA, for all its faults, but it's not competition to the WWE. It never will be. Having somewhere where guys can actually go and ply their trade, it's always going to make the business better. It's going to give them more experience, but it's also killed the journeyman wrestling. Where your apprenticeship would be going to Germany, learning the catch style, going to Japan, learning the strong style, coming back up through Mexico, learning a little bit of lucha, and then bringing that to your ring gear, which is something that a lot of the lads did. As you mentioned, Punk, Jericho's one, Benoit. Some of the best wrestlers of all time. They've all done. Eddie Guerrero, of course. Guys who.
William Regal,
yeah, that goes without saying. Daniel Bryan.
Favorites.
Sorry.
Hey, Regal's one of my favorites.
Oh, Regal is fantastic. But, there's just these guys who you can just.
Echo from Braddock. I apologize.
It's okay. But it's just a different kind of product now, where you don't have to wrestle, like that. I think the guys who are in NXT right now, and NXT the special just went off the air a couple of minutes ago. They're the last class of that kind of wrestler. I think Ring of Honor has been kind of showcasing that. You don't have to wrestle anymore. You just have to get over. And I think WWE know who they want, and that's who they're pushing. And sadly, that's who your average 8-year-old's going to see. They're not going to. They're not going to watch wrestling in Japan.
Eddie, your thoughts on this? Superstar Billy Graham.
You really ready for this? And that echo's killing me. I don't know where it is this time. For me, it's very simple. To say that John Cena is the third coming of Superstar Billy Graham is to give any credence whatsoever to the work that Hulk Hogan did. Superstar Billy Graham inside the ring was a man of good talent, skill set, move set level. Hulk Hogan, the innovator of 5 moves of doom. Or actually 4, depending on exactly what continent you're on, depending on what week he was working. Cena, 5 moves of doom. Yeah, give Hogan 4 at the most, depending. But that basement dropkick he did a couple of weeks ago was really rad. I liked it. It was impressive coming from him. Cena is originally the prototype great in-ring talent. But as he went on through the Doctor of Thugonomics and became the vanilla, castrated version of the Doctor of Thugonomics to be liked by the kids, which, of course, the kids are the ticket-buying public of today and tomorrow. Who cares? Everybody cares. That's the problem. Graham was an animal all unto himself that people like Dusty Rhodes, that people like Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura patterned themselves after. John Cena, not so much. Do I see anybody patterning themselves after John Cena in 20 years from now? Negative. Ain't gonna happen. I don't see that in the least. Cena, yeah. Remember, he calls himself the face that runs the place. So he pretty much tipped the hand to the fact that, yeah, he is part of the creative as far as which direction certain things are going to go. Is that a good thing? Maybe. He's a good in-ring barometer because he needs to. He can be the barometer by how someone works inside the ring. But in this day and age, the WWE has become a totally scattered cat with 9 tails. And let me throw one over to Darragh, if I could, please. You made a reference in the first part of the interview. I want to get your insight on this one. You made a statement you weren't a big fan of the Federation years, but you were a huge fan of the cruiserweights in WCW.
Sure.
Is it because that even though they were presented in a slightly more off comic book style way, they weren't coming off in the comic book style or cartoon style that the Federation was putting people together as?
It's hard to say. It seemed like, I hate to use this term because it's wrestling and it's not real, but it seemed more real. It seemed like they were competing. Compared to the Federation years, which even though I was a kid and I did like comics, I didn't like the fact that they were saying, "Hey, this is fake." And it's something I can't stand now as an adult, which WWE loves to do. I like when I watch something to enjoy it for what it is and not to be reminded constantly that what I'm watching isn't real. And I think the Federation years has that element where it's like, yeah, this isn't real, guys. This is just, it's just entertainment. It's not competitive. But when you were watching the cruiserweights, those guys went in and left it in the ring. Okay. And it was just so entertaining to watch. And there's a lot of crossover now because when younger viewers watch NXT now today, there seems to be that kind of light bulb moment as well where they're watching and they're like, oh, this is actually, I understand what's going on here. And I think that's what I was tapping into as a kid in the 90s.
One of the great things about the Reign of Terror, as Brian Zane puts it, Triple H just decimating everyone. Triple H is better backstage. He knows wrestling. He knows wrestling. And I think wrestling is in his blood, not sports entertainment, wrestling. And everything that you see on NXT and everything that you look at in the independent scene reflects directly what they're doing in NXT. Like Sasha Banks winning the women's title tonight. I think that Triple H is so much better backstage and what he's helping to produce in NXT, because NXT is his baby, than what the WWE is doing right now. Because what they're doing in NXT is a WWE style of wrestling and not sports entertainment. Your thoughts?
Well, I love Triple H. Triple H is one of my favorite wrestlers, if not my favorite wrestler. And I actually dropped out of wrestling around the time of the Reign of Terror, so I totally missed it. And I've recently caught up to what happened, but I think it gets a lot of bad press, bad publicity, because I always knew that this guy, gets wrestling. He may not be the best at it. Obviously he's been hand something, but he's actually making a go at it. He's not using it to pump himself over, which he could do now. Let's put it this way: Triple H could go out there and be like Hogan and hold the belt, hold a hostage. Now. That's what he could do, but he's not. He's putting all his effort into NXT and giving real wrestling fans what they want. You don't want sports entertainment. You just want to see guys go out and put on great matches. And we got that tonight with NXT. We get it every week. So I think, for all his sins, I think he's well made up for it. And all the problems, he said it in his interview, he said all the problems here are made by Kevin Dunn and by Vince McMahon. And, we've known that for years. But to actually have him say it, it's unbelievable. The time we're in now is super weird to be a wrestling fan.
Well, I was one of those kids that fought fist fights at school and outside of school because wrestling's fake. That would get you punched in the jaw. As quick as you would say it, I would punch you in the face when I was in high school because of that. Because there was that element. Now, you talked about comic books, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into heavy metal because my man is a bassist, so we're gonna just keep this interview rolling. We're about to take our first break of the evening. When we come back, we're gonna talk more wrestling and a little bit of sports entertainment. We're gonna talk about the landscape of the UK wrestling independent scene right now, right here on the To Be Determined Show, live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the To Be Determined show. We are live with Darragh O'Connor of WrestleView International Desk. This man puts on a podcast once a week. This man covers all of wrestling in general and has a lot of opinions. Now, we were talking off air about Dean Malenko. I cannot believe that we didn't mention Dean Malenko on air, so we're going to right now. Your thoughts on probably the most underrated, and a lot of people will tell you that they owe their in-ring style to Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko, sir.
I would not be shocked to hear that. I think Dean Malenko is one of those talents that just completely went underneath the radar. Underappreciated in every sense of the word. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years if he gets a Hall of Fame induction. Let's put it that way. That's how important he is to the business.
Well, right now as an agent, I think he's doing a ton. You look at Chris Jericho will tell you, Eddie Guerrero spoke about it before his passing. Chris Benoit spoke about it before his passing. Rey Mysterio. 4 guys that molded the business as we know it today all said that Dean Malenko was very influential in their in-ring work. If he is not a WWE Hall of Famer in the next few years, it is a travesty. Gary Hart should be a WWE Hall of Famer, but unfortunately is not thus far. So we're going to talk about the UK independent scene. You talked about how the independent scene is so great and vast over there. Who right now do you see that is right there about to come, about to break through that quote-unquote glass ceiling of professional wrestling?
Well, there's a bunch of different companies which you can actually check out, and the IPW is a huge one. That's probably one of the biggest, most well known in basically outside of the UK. IPW UK, and they've done a lot of early cross promotion with NWA and with TNA. But the biggest one right now, which is only starting to get a lot of mainstream attention, and Grado was actually after coming from there, and Drew Galloway as well was I believe their champion for a while, is IWW, and that's based in Scotland. That's just unbelievable. And then there's FWA, which is another big one as well. That's been around since 1999. So they're the 3 that I would really point to as, the pristine wrestling promotions, which incorporate a lot of different things. Dragon Gate do a lot of shows there as well. It's just it's crazy to think that in this day and age, you actually have that. You could, like, anywhere in the UK, you can just go and see fantastic wrestling.
Who has been your favorite person? If you had to buy a ticket to one show, let's say whatever reason, you can only go to one show. Who are you paying your hard-earned money to go see today?
In the UK indie scene or in general?
In general.
Drew Galloway. Easy. Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway. He's unbelievable. He's just fantastic. He was great in the independent scene. His work in TNA is, like, you guys haven't seen it yet, but he's making his debut there. I was in the building for it, and it's just, he is the future of wrestling. He was never tapped in a proper way. And, I'm calling it right now. Wait till you guys see what he does. It's unbelievable. So that's what I'm paying for. AJ Styles, I'd always pay to see him. Bad Influence, always pay to see Bad Influence. But, Drew Galloway gets my euro or dollar or pound every time.
We're going to go the rubles, the yen, anything. We're
Womp 'em. Just bring back the old fucking currency. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I wish we were using the old Irish currency. I'll tell you that much. The euro hasn't been good to Ireland, so whatever.
Now, Ireland, of course, and we're going to get into politics for a second, was talking about breaking away from the UK. How did you feel about that at the time? Because that was a huge thing over here. the North American continent as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Breaking away from Europe is something that's been talked about in Ireland a lot, but breaking away from the UK, yeah, it's something that is, kind of a folktale now in Ireland because it happened, over 100 years ago. So it is something that's still fairly fresh in the Irish memory, and I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion on it either way. There were some advantages to staying. There's other advantages to leave, but Scotland wanted to leave. They had a referendum, and they were very much in a similar position that we were in 1912, 1914, and they decided to stay. So we could have had a repeat of history there, but there were some advantages to stay, and I don't really know. I can't answer that question. Let's put it this way: if the choice was to use the English pound or to use the euro, I'd much rather use the English pound because it's a lot stronger and our economy probably wouldn't be destroyed. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
Who has been your favorite person thus far to interview?
JB. I really liked interviewing Jeremy Borash. Just his career started as a WCW, radio show. He's basically doing what we do. And it's just so cool to see what he's been able to achieve in the business. So he'd be my favorite. I really liked interviewing Stone Cold Steve Austin as well. That was something I never would have thought I was, as a kid growing up and seeing him on television, I never thought I would actually be able to sit down and interview him. So they would be my two favorite ones.
You got to interview Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yes, sir.
Well, we are no longer friends.
He is a very nice guy. I have to hand it that.
I think it's got a golf
Yeah,
clap.
he does some hunting in Georgia. I've tried to catch him, but the woods are thick down here. The woods are real thick.
Look for the bright orange vest.
No, we're going to go away from wrestling for a second. You are a bassist in a heavy metal band, sir. Who, in your opinion, is the best bassist of all time?
Ooh, big question. There's a couple of things, as far as metal, my favorite bass player in metal is either Jason Newsted, just from playing consistently from Metallica. I basically stole his entire way of playing, so he's a big influence on me, or David Ellefson from Megadeth. Just brilliant all-around bass player, can do anything, superb technique, great ear, just really, really good. But that's metal. Moving away, best bass player of all time, Stuart Ham or Jacko. They got basically literally invented playing bass, as we know it today. So he'd probably be the best, either of those two guys. But there's so many. Brian Beller, who does he plays the bass parts for Murderface in Deathlock. But his solo jazz stuff is, mind blowing.
So you're a fan of Deathlock?
Yes, I love Deathlock. Deathlock are great.
What do you think about the cartoon?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really true. I think if you're into metal in any way, or if you played a band or even been around bands, you just get the jokes. It's so funny. Like, we're in Northern Europe, so very close to the black metal, death metal scene, and it's just really true. It's excellent.
Okay, you talk about death metal. Who is your favorite death metal band that we don't know about yet?
Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, At the Gates, Behemoth. I'm one of my...
Love Behemoth.
There you go. Behemoth are fantastic. They put on a great show.
Fucking amazing.
Well, the band that I play in at the moment, we take a lot from Hypocrisy and Behemoth. It's good, black and death metal. So it's all kind of that kind of stuff, very political and, very heavy. So we take a lot from Behemoth and Hypocrisy.
Okay, you have been cast as a role of a wrestler. What would be your entrance music?
Oh, brilliant. I recently discovered this. This is a fantastic question. The theme song from Command & Conquer Red Alert 2.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is.
Fucking love that game too.
See, we have a lot of fun on this show. I'm sure it's one of those things to where you're like, we're going to go and talk wrestling. No, we throw you a cosmic curveball right there. Bam! But, it's very seldom that you see somebody that knows their wrestling and knows their music. So that's why we go this direction when we can. Because, we can't have AJ Still on and talk about, death metal.
I appreciate it. Like talking about wrestling's great, but like every week on the International Desk, we start with a different hair metal song. So, we're just like, okay, Gary, what are we going to pick? And it's like, okay, usually it's Motley Crue, but, I think there's a lot of crossover between metal and wrestling. Like I just like really, really obscure metal, but, sometimes you have to cheese it up with Motley Crue or, Winger or something like that.
I feel the same way about hip hop. I just listened to, I don't know if you're into hip hop, Jizza just released a song called The Mexican with Tom Morello of course, Audio Slave, and of course, Rage Against the Machine. And that song is just out of the park.
Well, that would be, I'm not really into hip hop that much, but I have an appreciation for it. I have appreciation for all kind of music. But that sounds pretty cool. I was a big Rage Against the Machine fan, and as a bass player as well, just, you just want to jam out something, you stick that on, it's good to go. Death are a good band as well for anybody who is wanting to get into more kind of technical death metal. Death are very good.
Who is your favorite band of all time?
Sorry?
Who is your favorite band of all time?
Megadeth.
Yes.
Easy. I've seen them 7 times. And I got to see the whole Rust in Peace album live in Cork, and it was unbelievable. So they would be probably, if not my favorite band, the most important band on me as a musician and as a metal fan. But I love Fear Factory too. So it's a toss between those two.
I got to see my favorite band is Slipknot. I got to see Fear Factory in Chimera open for them in Birmingham, and they tore the roof off. The beginning of the show used to be the beginning of Edge Crusher. Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised. Fear Factory is amazing. Amazing.
Have you guys ever seen Fear Factory play Edge Crusher on a WCW live event? I think it was a pay-per-view at the time, or the broadcast of Nitro. And there's a battle royale happening in the ring while Edge Crusher is being played on set. It's bizarre.
Braddock, you listen to a lot of metal too. Who is your favorite metal band? Clyde?
What?
Who's your favorite metal band?
Were you talking to me? I couldn't hear what you said. My bad.
We're talking to the Braddock Addict.
Yeah, that's right. The original. Actually, my mother's the original Braddock Addict. But my favorite metal band, fucking Metallica, man. That's my favorite. I love Metallica. Of course, everyone knows, if you listen to this show at all, that Master of Puppets, I listen to it every single day. Along with Battle of Los Angeles, I listen to both of those CDs every single day. Because I listen to them while I work out.
Good choice. I used to know every single track on Master Puppets by heart. When growing up, I used to just play it every day.
I fucking do too. I can. Let's see. First one is fucking. Damn it. Okay, I'm in my own zone over here.
Is the Sevenfold?
No, it's battery. Master of Puppets, the thing that should not be.
Am I evil?
Cthulhu?
No.
Cthulhu shout
I don't know. Fucking whatever. I listen to it every single day though, and I love that whole album. It's definitely my favorite. I've been listening lately. I've been in kind of a Tech Nine mood. I'm a big fan of Tech Nine randomly, and I just found this out. Thank you, Saba. But yeah, I would have to definitely say Metallica is my favorite metal group.
Now, as the Sevenfold Saints, we come out to Rage Against the Machine, Street Fighting Man.
Yes, we do.
Amazing song. And I want promoters, don't try to put one of my Kanye West intros on. Sevenfold Saints come out to Rage Against the Machine, Street Fighting Man. Looking at you, Shane Knowles.
And And if I'm doing singles, I come out to Bulls on Parade. So
It's a good choice.
Rage Against the Machine, man. Enough cannot be said about those guys. But we're going to toss it around before we end the interview. Eddie, any questions for Mr. O'Connor?
Come back to me. I'm killing some Wild West shrimp.
Oh, dear God.
oh God, you're stuffing your fucking face again, Eddie.
He always eats. He always catch him eating. Clyde Braddock, any questions for Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, when can I come over to Ireland and wrestle? That is the question. I'll come over there right now.
Anytime you want, sir. Main Stage Wrestling, I believe, are doing some great work here in Ireland. So I would get in contact with those guys, and they'll hook you up.
Yeah, definitely, because I was meant for this business. I was born for it, and a lot of people are starting to realize that now. So I'm ready to start taking it to another level and go all over the globe, because I will be heard and I will be remembered in this wrestling business.
That's a good attitude to have, sir. And I'd say, Ireland is a good place to go, but, look up Main Stage Wrestling, but definitely try to get yourself over to the UK, because, we'll appreciate it. That's the thing. Over here, we don't get wrestling that often, and the wrestling we do get, it's filled with passion. So you sound like a man who has passion, so totally go for it.
Definitely, with my amateur background and then train strong style, legit strong style with Micah Taylor at the Underground. They mix very well. I don't do much flying. I know you like the cruiserweights. I don't do much flying, but I'm getting there. I've lost 80 pounds so far.
Oh.
So yeah, and I'm still losing. So I've been venturing to the second rope. This became my friend. I've been dropping the elbow from the second rope. I figured that the Macho Man already conquered the top rope. So I need to try to conquer that second rope.
I'll tell you one thing. If you haven't seen the Stiles Clash from the second rope, there's so much damage that can be done on that second rope, so It's a good call.
Oh, definitely. Nobody does it anymore.
Nope.
They think the top rope is the big payoff. No, it's the second rope.
Probably 200 matches, and every time Clyde goes up to the second rope, I'm like, oh God, please hurt somebody.
Yeah, O'Hagan got the cold foot and got the fuck out of there. I can't blame him though. He's like, oh, you were really big. Yeah, I know, motherfucker.
This coming from somebody that did a belly to belly, a belly to Braddock suplex off the fucking top rope to AJ Steele, who is legit 305. So,
wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Braddock's cut from that mold of a amateur wrestler. So, Darragh,
I scaled those ropes too. I didn't go up there and walk up there with him.
Oh fuck!
I ran from one side and scaled him.
Wow, man, that's impressive. I need to see a tape of that match. I really do. If you guys have one.
Yeah, we do, and I'll send it to you.
Awesome, because that seems incredible, actually.
It was, and I jumped up and elbowed my fiance in the fucking face when he did it. I was like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
True story. There was blood at the end of the match.
The fiance went color.
Yes, a redhead with a bloody nose is not a happy thing. As you know, you elbow an Irish woman, you better be ready to fucking fight right then and right there.
Yeah, and you'll lose.
Oh fuck yeah!
You'll lose.
I'm 6'3", 195 at the time. I was 6'3", 205, and she would beat my ass. And she's over here laughing right now, so it's okay.
Especially if you know what's good for you.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Oh, and one more thing I want to do in Ireland. I know I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but one more thing that I want to do in Ireland is I want to have a bare knuckle boxing match with someone in a street, because that movie Knuckle made me really appreciate the bare knuckle boxing, because they treat it like a religion.
I can't help you there. I have no contacts in the bare knuckle industry. But I'm, you know what?
Shit.
Irish people love to fight, and I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult. Just go to a bar at late at night, and whatever happens may happen.
Beer.
Well, I don't want to get beat up by the whole bar full of Irish people, because me talking country as fuck in there.
Well, I'm gonna be in your fucking bag, so they're gonna have to whip my ass as well. So,
Yeah.
but
See, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Everybody in Ireland loves Americans, so you wouldn't be able to fight each other with Irish people because they'd be too busy, loving you guys. You'd be like, "Hey, you guys are from America. Here's beers," So.
Oh fuck, that's awesome though.
That's it. I can't promise you'll fight Irish people, but I can promise that you'll sure as hell drink with Irish people.
oh
Well,
yes,
that's
there
all
you
we
go.
care about.
Okay, I'm there. Screw it, I'm there.
We're all going. Let's all go to Ireland right now. We're all packing our shit. And we're all going right now.
Actually, do me a favor. I've got to throw this one in there. I have to ask, do you partake of whiskey?
Here's the thing. I'm straight edge.
Okay.
That's awesome.
No. But I do have lots of friends that partake in whiskey, so
the
you
reason-
wouldn't be drinking alone.
Well, the reason why I ask is because I'm a big fan of Jägermeister, also known as German cough syrup. And friends of mine who have gone to Germany, who have drank it over there or partaken of it over there, tell me that it is completely different in Germany as opposed to the domestic product we get here or the imported product we get here in the U.S. So I was going to sit back and ask, so how much different is the Irish whiskey genuinely going to be in Ireland as opposed to Alabama?
Well, I can't answer that. The Guinness that you guys have over there is totally different.
Yeah.
Because they don't make it with Irish water, and that's the difference. Mm-hmm. And unless you're buying it in an Irish bar and they buy it from Ireland, it's it's going to be probably going to be the same there. But you just have to be careful. It's just there is a different atmosphere in Ireland, and everything's made differently. And plus, you're getting it fresh, so it would be very different.
I couldn't imagine Guinness tasting any better. This just gets better and better. We're going to fucking Ireland.
I've got a friend who's a travel agent. I can put this together, Braddock.
Hey, you do it now. Call them now.
After I get to ask my questions, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sounds good. We'll do a live show then in Ireland. We'll set that up. You guys come over.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for. We might just get it. I'm Captain Road Trip over here.
You're talking to the wrong people, Darragh, because over here, boy, we love to travel, we love to wrestle, so.
Brilliant. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
No, the fun part is, one Saturday, it's like, hey, Wick, I'm going to Tennessee to catch a show. You want to go? Okay, let's go.
Yep. We load up and go.
Yeah, pretty much. You mentioned some great instrumentalists a little while ago, and I have to ask, bringing out one of my favorite bassists of all time, Geddy Lee of the band Rush. Your thoughts?
Ooh. Nice choice. Well, unbelievable. His stuff is... I try to play his stuff, and then I stop, and I'm just like, why am I playing? And he sings on top of it, and you're just like, dude, how? It's not even effort. Yeah, Geddy Lee is he's unbelievable. I love Rush. I was kind of late to the party, though. I only discovered him like 2 or 3 years ago. And ever since then, it's changed the way I play. It's how it changed the way I listen to music. Unbelievable.
I've got 3 albums I want to throw at you. If you've heard of them, I want your thoughts. 1, Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power.
Yes.
Yes, but I've used playing a trash band like a religious text.
Number 2, Metallica, Kill 'Em All.
Yes, again, Forerunners are trash. Basically invented the genre.
Anthrax, Sounds of White Noise.
Not the best Anthrax album, but still pretty good.
It's one of the most commercially successful over here in the States, and that's why it's like they had a couple of songs that really got in there. That's why I loved when they did their Greatest Hits album, because they completely took a dig at Bryan Adams when they said, so far so good, so what?
Also a Megadeth album as well.
Yeah.
So it's good. Like I love Among the Living.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite Anthrax album. So I'm always going to go for that one.
Yeah, it's like over here, there's so many different things that are hitting at different points in time in different geographical regions. It's really kind of hard to nail it down. We're in Alabama and Georgia. Braddock's got a little bit closer to the main scene in Atlanta, Georgia, which will get stuff probably about 5 light years ahead of us. Now,
Yeah, it's pretty unreal.
And I know
we're in Ireland now, and trash is just making a huge comeback right now. So it's huge over in Ireland for some reason. I have no idea why.
It's
20 years after.
It's been moving in weird directions, because I did an interview with a gentleman up in Vancouver, British Columbia, a couple of years ago, and he said that Thrash Trash was actually getting its way really to a good, strong foothold there. And I'm sitting back going, really? We were kind of like giving ourselves concussions to this stuff back 10 years ago.
I don't know, man. Like, we play shows, and you see all the kids in the denim and the leather, and you're just like, well, man, I never thought this would happen again. 20, 30 years afterwards. Death metal is huge in Ireland as well, and in Germany. It's just right now for metal, old school is cool.
Based on the timelines, and I know we're up against the top of the hour, so I'm going to make this one quick.
Sure.
From the time that you started watching professional wrestling to now, if you could invent the time machine or perfect the time machine to send a note back to any one particular star warning them about an upcoming pitfall that they would have in their career, who would it be and what would the note be?
It would be to, not Vince McMahon because it wouldn't work, it would be to his inner circle and go, pay all the money in the world to bring in the WCW top brass for the invasion angle. It would be that. I'd be like, look, you're going to fuck this up. That's what it'd be. Because we were screwed out of getting the super card that we always wanted.
Yep.
And that's what my message is.
Wick?
Before we let you go, we have to ask you this. What does WrestleView International Desk have upcoming? Who are you interviewing, sir? And how can everyone get in touch with you? We know that you are shown or listened to or broadcast on 92.5 Phoenix FM. What do you have upcoming?
Oh, we have so much coming up. It's ever since starting the website back in March, where we really kind of ported all the 200 shows over and built up. Friday nights we have the live show, which goes out on Phoenix 92.5 FM. It's archived over the weekend. But we have a couple of specials as well coming up. Interviews with last interviews with Bobby Lashley. That dropped as well. We may have a few more interviews coming up. Basically, I work for The Sun in the UK, and that's how the interviews work. So when I get them, they go up online there as well. We have the Monday Night Wars podcast, which drops every Monday, and that's a look back at WCW, ECW, and just really weird stuff from the past. So all I can say is, if people want something different, and if they kind of want to take a trip in the time machine, or just look at weird stuff from wrestling, even have us talk about it, they can go over to WVIDesk.com. They can find us on Twitter at WVIDesk. You can go to my Twitter at DarragWV and recommend it. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and we'll cover it. Right now, we're working through a huge email with different stuff sent in by a listener, and that's given us weeks of content basically. But if you guys want a sample of the show, go over to WVIDesk.com and look up our 200 edition show. That's an 8-hour review of the entire invasion angle, and that's kind of the stuff we do over there.
That is awesome. That's a marathon. I'm waiting on Jerry Lewis to come out.
We don't have that, but we do have some commentary tracks of the matches.
Go and check out WrestleViewRadio.com/WVIDesk, and for a list of their past guests, it is right there. They have it all right on their website. Darragh, thank you so much for coming on, sir. How can everyone get in touch with you, whether it be for interviews, whether it be to give some content, etc., etc.?
Very easy to reach. If you just go over to WVIDesk.com, all the information is there. But if you want to contact me directly, internationaldesk@WrestleView.com, or my Twitter at DarraghWV, DARRAGHWV on Twitter. Send me a message over there and I'll get to it. It's open there. We have an open submission policy as well. If anyone wants to submit anything, they can. We'll run it. And I hope to hear from you guys in the future. This has been an absolute pleasure, and each one of you is more than welcome on my show at any time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, because we'll all take you up on that, because we are whores when it comes to ourselves. I promise you that.
I am not a whore. I'm a slut. I do it for free.
Well, you're more than welcome. We're like, I like to think of myself as the George Norrie of professional wrestling, where we open stuff out, have different people on and different discussions, because that's what I like. I like to hear from wrestling fans, and I'm glad that it is.
How often do you hear a wrestling show where you hear George Norrie of Coast to Coast AM drop right there. Just name dropping, my man.
I love Coast to Coast AM. I'm sorry, it's fantastic. It really is.
So do I. So do I. It is an amazing radio show, and they talk about stuff. I don't always agree with it. You also need to check out Red Ice Radio from Sweden. That's another one that's really good about that. Don't always agree with what they say.
Darkness Radio as well. Darkness Radio is pretty good with Dave Schrader.
Yes, there you go. See, this is what it's all about. Media coming together. Thank you, sir, so much for coming on tonight. I know we went way past what we said we would. We appreciate you taking the time. Get your ass to bed. We look forward, and you are always welcome on this show, sir.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Our next break of the evening, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Sevenfold Saints and what we have upcoming and the mayhem we have caused right here, live, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Hey, this is Stuart Couch from the Cause and Effect Thursday Night Throwdown. Catch us here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Smart Rage from Wrestle Rage Radio, coming to you from the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join myself and my co-host, Super Stan Grubb, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, as we present Wrestle Rage Radio, where we rant and rave on everything in the world of pro wrestling. Sometimes we'll have a guest. Sometimes it'll be just me and Stan BSing about the sport that we love, pro wrestling. Check us out. Tune in Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, only on the Beyond Ringside Network.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne.
And I'm the Cause, Robert Cosper.
And this is your invitation to join us
and the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock, right here for the Saturday Showcase.
That's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10, 9, 8 a.m. Pacific time. See? We do math around this place. Be sure to catch us right here on BeyondRingside.com. You can also listen through Winamp for Android and BlackBerry, as well as the Shoutcast mobile app for Apple as well. Remember, that's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
And let me tell you how you can find the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock on social media. It's very easy. It's at www.kissmyass.
Whoa. Stop that right there, folks. We'll see you Saturday on the Showcase. Bye for now.
Never know who's going to be on the show, and that was an amazing interview. Thank you so much to Darragh O'Connor for coming on. We talked wrestling, we talked the independent scene in the UK, and we talked metal, and we even talked about drinking. And you know you can put away some shit when you can throw away a top to a Johnny Walker, not a Jimmy Walker, to Johnny Walker bottle and finish that motherfucker in one night and go out for more. This is the To Be Determined show. We're live, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
And the Beyond Ringside Radio app.
Oh, the radio app. Yes, we have a Beyond Ringside Radio app. Go and download it. It is for BlackBerry, and it is for Google Play.
And the app.
No,
Amazon.
The app, not yet.
Nope, and I'll go ahead and stop there because I don't know if you saw the bulletin or not, but thanks to situations beyond our control through Apple, the Apple app for Beyond Ringside Radio is on hold indefinitely. Unfortunately, and I'm just going to go ahead and shoot straight since I'm in an environment where I can right now. With all due respect, I understand that companies have policies and procedures. I understand companies have their way of doing things. But by the same token, I guess I just didn't measure up to their standard as far as who they wanted to do business with, and my money wasn't good enough for them. So I'll leave it at that.
And that's your side of the coin.
Pretty much. Oh, no, I ain't even started on that shit yet.
Yeah.
Well, there's your fecal matter reference for the day.
Clyde, I saw that, well, first of all, we've been talking about you against Mike Cruz and Port Richie.
Yes.
Is it...
Current subject to change.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You knew where I was going with it. Go ahead and tell everyone.
Well, I'm actually in a triple threat match now with Mr. Simon Says and Mr. Mike Cruz. So that actually works well in my favor, I feel like. Brings a little bit more action to the table.
When did you find out about this? Whenever you posted the flyer? Because that's when I found out.
Yeah. Because, that a little bit before that day, I posted the flyer with me and Mike Cruz. And then I found out, and I was like, Holy Underwear was my actual reference. And card subject to change. Because, I guess that Mr. Stevens couldn't be there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what was going on there. But it'll actually be the main event. Will be Francisco Chiazzo taking on former Ring of Honor superstar John Davis, and he was there with Chavis, right, for the Dark City Fight Club.
He is a 3-time former world tag team champion for the NWA, part of the Dark City Fight Club. John Davis is one of the best wrestlers out there, period. Francisco's going to have his hands full. And I've got to meet, I met John, and he picked up one of, I think there's Beast Mode with Don Maximo and
Biff Slater.
Yeah. He picked up Biff Slater like he wasn't nothing. And he's a big old boy.
John Davis is a damn
hoss.
hoss.
Him up. Yeah, he picked him up torture rack style. No jump, no nothing. I was there. And I was like, holy Lord, that guy is really strong.
I will say this again. I've said this on Beyond Ringside. I've said it on this show. I said it on Shoot Finish. The Dark City Fight Club was so overlooked and so underrated in the NWA. They could have beat, and still might, but when they were at the top of their game, they could have beat any tag team in history. They could have beat and had a fantastic match with any fucking tag team that was going at that time. Hands down, bar none. The Dark City Fight Club, man. You look at Corey's big guy. John Davis is just amazing. He really is, and so underrated. I put him right up there with he has to be up there with Caprice Coleman as underrated. I can't say enough about the Dark City Fight Club. Amazing tag team, and so fucking overlooked, and just completely got fucked over by the NWA.
Yep.
You know that. Because we talked about that, and I think that was like one of the first times I ever cussed on Beyond Ringside. I was so mad because they didn't have him defend for 9 months?
Yeah.
What was it, Eddie? It was for an extended period of time. They didn't even promote their tag team, and they were 3-time world tag team champions and defended that title in Mexico, in Canada, of course, all over America, in almost every state. I guarantee you, he has wrestled in every state except for probably Alaska and Hawaii, and he may have wrestled in Hawaii a lot.
Yeah, I had a chance to catch DCFC in action as part of the survival games down at Vintage back in November, and to watch John Davis just take Biff Slater up, and oh my God, I think I got a hernia just watching him do it. But he did it so effortlessly. It was I just had to sit back and go, damn. And
yeah, that was the word that I was looking for. Effortlessly. That was how he picked him up. It was very, very surprising to say the least.
John Davis,
he's a great.
Put it this way. John got Biff Slater up so easily and effortlessly, it looked like Arn Anderson doing the spine buster to a midget.
Yeah.
Or Clyde Braddock going to the second rope.
Pretty much.
Dropping the elbow.
He's just, and he's still in really good, physical condition. And, I know Chiazzo is going to have his hands full, though. Just like the vintage heavyweight champion, Simon Says, is going to have his hands full with me. And so is Mike Cruz. Everybody's been telling me, oh, Cruz this, Cruz that, Cruz whatever after the fact. But, you know, I mean, they're going to have to be in there with me too. And I feel and I know that I am a force to be reckoned with in this wrestling business. And the way that I look at it, they're going to have their hands full, not me.
Okay, let's talk about this match. Okay. Cruz, who started off as a manager and become a pretty decent wrestler, and Mike Cruz, who is a really good wrestler. Really good. Let's break this match down. I'm going to break this match down like it's cause and effect. Live Thursday nights on Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. Check out the Beyond Ringside Radio app. I said Says was the manager.
You said Cruz.
God damn it. Simon Says started out as a manager. Simon Says started out as a manager and become a pretty good wrestler.
I would never lie to you about that, sir.
Anyways, well, I fucked up on that, so there you go. I've had about 8 Modelo's, so kiss my ass. Okay. Now, Says gets over with the crowd. He has great heat, even when he does his little cheap heat. Mike Cruz can go on the mat. Mike Cruz can also fly. Now, you look at Clyde Braddock. Clyde Braddock, I'm going to say this again. There is no one, with the exception of possibly Kurt Angle, that can go on the mat with Clyde Braddock. Clyde Braddock is a fucking specimen of a wrestler. Clyde Braddock is about to, and I know Cruz and Says have a few years on you, they're about to learn something. And I hate that I'm not there. I am so pissed off that I'm not going to be there to see this match, because this is going to be what propels Clyde Braddock to that next level. You tagging with Steven Stiles put you on a whole nother level. And it also completely elevated Steven Stiles to another level. When you got with Chris Knox, it elevated you to another level. This level you're about to be on with this match is going to be on a level that no one is prepared for. Mike Cruz, Simon Says, you don't hear this too often, have their work cut out for them. And I know they're showing a box. I know they're part of the circle of disrespect. You know, yeah, showing a box.
Hashtag showing a box.
Yeah. Show in the box, show in the bucket. The guy from Nantucket always said fuck it. So
unless he's with DX, then he really says suck it.
I like it. I like it. Good one.
But Clyde, how do you prepare for this? When you know these guys travel together, these guys are great friends. How are you preparing for this triple threat?
Fucking cardio. That's how I'm preparing. No, I mean, it's really with Cruz. That's the one that I'm mainly worried about. Not to put anything beside Mr. Says at all, because I mean he's a great wrestler and a great mouthpiece as well. But Cruz has very good wrestling ability. I've watched him wrestle Spiral, several times, and then their ladder match was just over the top. I watched him wrestle Milo Beasley at Vintage last time I was down there. I mean, that match was a street fight, but it was, fucking the fans were on their feet from start to finish. And I need to be on that level. So if I feel like that my cardio needed to be up a little bit more, so I've been busting my ass in the gym. I'm actually, after I get off of the phone with the radio show, I'm going to the gym to get on the fucking Stairmaster for an hour. Get up and train while your opponent is sleeping. Or let's see, how did he put it? When you're going out partying and messing around, there's going to be somebody out there who's training. That's me. So, they got their work cut out for them. I've been busting my ass, and it's starting to show. People are starting to say that my look is getting a lot better. I'm really falling into my character well. So, you know, the sky's the limit. And I plan on going as high as I can go. A lot higher than I am now.
On the phone right now, we have the other half of the Sevenfold Saints. Drop Kick, not the new sensation. It's not a goddamn NXS song. Drop Kick, Steven Stiles. Steven, how you doing this evening, sir?
Oh, wow, I got an applause. All right.
Applause.
I'm doing...
You need to get a passport.
That's what I just told him. That's what I told him about. Get your passport ready. We're going to Ireland.
Hey, Steve, got your passport ready yet?
Well, I haven't been able to do so in the last 5 minutes, but I am one.
So I'll do your paperwork.
You'll need a passport, man. Okay.
Come with us if you want to live. Steven.
Yeah.
We're going to Ireland. This summer, we go ahead and mark it down. We're going to Ireland. Sevenfold Saints in Ireland.
How long are we going to be in Ireland?
Long enough to go to Disneyland, Ireland. I don't even know if there is one, but we're going.
It's called the bar.
Yes.
Guinness for days.
Yes, I know you're not a big drinker, Stephen, but you're going to have a real Guinness with us.
I'm down.
And no sombreros. But,
no sombreros?
No sombreros. Clyde's going. Clyde, tell this man we're going to Ireland.
We're going to Ireland, Stephen.
I'm completely down to go to Ireland. I'm just confused on why they don't have sombreros there.
Because it's not near Mexico.
That doesn't mean... Fine. I guess they have some other kind of funny hat. I'm going to find one.
They got the Pope hat.
Yeah, they got the Pope hat.
Redhead.
Oh, I'm down.
Yes.
So wear Pope hats.
Explain the option and how we're getting there and how long we're going to be there.
Well, we got a pretty good rowboat.
Eddie's thinking it's a plane.
I know you're on a boat, Clyde.
Hey, I am not a bowler. I love the Big Lebowski, but not a bowler, sir.
Boater? You don't have a boat?
You're right. I don't have a boat. I do have a bowling ball randomly though, and I don't even bowl. But
what's a bowling ball?
I don't know. It's that thing that hangs on the end of the buoy.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense. I thought that was just called a buoy.
Shut up.
Okay, everybody start saving now. Airfare is going to be about $1,200.
Touche.
Holy jazz.
I'm over.
Is that not included?
$1,200 from here to there. Am I at least going to get blown in first class? I'm kidding. No, I'm not.
You can't bring explosions on the plane.
I'm not bringing Trojans. I'm bringing Spartans. There's a difference.
No.
Actually, I'm on Hotwire right now, just out of morbid curiosity, and I'm projecting all the way up into April. So I think we've covered that 21-day advance purchase window. One stop from Atlanta, Georgia to Dublin, Ireland is going to be, we leave at 5:45 p.m. We can probably get the flight time changed, but it's 11 hours and 25 minutes with one stop. It doesn't say which airport it is. It just gives the code, and I don't know the code, and it's $1,195. Round trip per person. And guess what? There's right now 4 seats left at this price.
Well, that's cool.
Steven. Now, I want to tell you guys awesome commentary on the GCW. You can check out Beyond Ringside. Of course, I'm sure they have the link to it. I have linked it as well on my Facebook page. Is up on the Sevenfold Saints Facebook fan page. Check out GCW YouTube with amazing commentary by the Sevenfold Saints, and of course Fast Eddie Layne, and Robert Cosper. Stephen, we're going to ask you about this. The green mullet.
Yeah,
How awesome
the
was
green freaking mullet. The commentary, the tag team title win. What are you referring to?
Well, first of all, let's go with the commentary. I think it was an opportunity for you to kind of show your charisma to the world.
Commentary was awesome, and much more is to come for the Sevenfold Saints commentary, especially during this tag team tournament, the JYD tag team tournament starting next Pell City.
We have no idea who we're facing February 28th, but we are going into the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament as your champions, and we're going to leave JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament champions and GCW Tag Team champions right there. And thank you to Eddie for saving the commentary, because we thought for sure that it was not going to be bad at all. We thought for sure that it was not going to be saved.
Okay, I found you.
Is it because I said O'Hagan had a butthole looking face? Is that not PG enough for GCW?
No, it's actually there was a technical flaw in the production on the post-production side. So,
oh, okay. So it's your fault.
No, not even my fault. I said, I said post-production. Post-production.
It's okay that you don't like us outshining you on commentary, but we're going to keep doing it anyway.
Well, as soon as you get to my level, trust me, you'll have already passed me.
Well, you're a great planetarian.
No, right now I'm just as big as a planet, but nice try. Actually, I found you a blonde mullet wig and some green hair dye, so we're going to go ahead and order both in, and you can have your green mullet by the 28th.
That sounds amazing. Make that happen.
I got to ask you a question, Eddie. How long has the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament going on?
Oh, God. I want to say at least 8 years.
I thought about 8 years. So there's a guy named Steve Crimes.
Piece of shit.
Who says, so how much of the money for this quote-unquote memorial is going to JYD's family? Will any of JYD's kids be at this memorial? Is this a cheap attempt for GCW? Let me tell you something, cocksucker.
He's a quote-unquote
Where is this?
wrestler.
Oh, yes, it's on Dan's page. He is a quote-unquote wrestler. Let's talk about the Memorial Tag Team Tournament. A good friend of JYD was Dan Sawyer. Dan Sawyer puts this on every year to make sure that everybody remembers, and there is a repeating memory of JYD. Trained by JYD. Now, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this, because evidently some cocksucker thinks this is a cheap attempt for the JYD. Like GCW is trying to pull one over. This is the 5th year I've been a part of the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Won it the last 2 years. This is the most prestigious tag team tournament in the Southeast. How anyone can come on and say this is just a cheap attempt, and even spelled cheap too, by the way. This blows my fucking mind. Clyde, your thoughts on this? You know what it's like to win this tournament. You know how much this tournament means to tag teams in the Southeast and to the memory of JYD.
Well, I mean, I definitely do agree with you. I mean, yeah, fuck that guy. For one, I mean, he just mad. They hate us because they ain't us.
Preach.
Yes. So, I mean, you don't need to forget about the Junkyard Dog. I mean, younger kids, a lot of them don't know who he is just because of, what time period he was in and all that, but he was great. He was fucking great, and I, as a winner of the JYD Memorial Tournament, it's an honor to have that. And another thing to that guy, we had almost 400 paid last GCW show, which is about all that building can hold. Yeah. So the crowd is already there, in another aspect of it, we don't need JYD to get us over. So, stuck on that, Trebek.
Oh, let's see. This is talking about an individual who works as an independent professional wrestler. Therefore, he's obviously pissed that he can't get booked. And he's also a bathroom attendant at a company.
That's awesome.
So, I guess he's just been snorting way too much of the pooper scooper water.
Yep.
Those urinal cakes. He's been eating those urinal cakes. You're not supposed to eat them. You're supposed to put them in the urinal.
So, logistically speaking, let's go ahead and put the world in proper perspective. If someone wants to make cute little crass comments, be ready for when people fire back. And in my particular case, Junior, understand something. You're going to need to go ahead and step up your skills just a little bit, especially spelling. Please, if you're saying you're from Alabama, we have enough of a problem with their education system. Learn how to spell stuff in advance. That way you don't look like an ass on social media.
Amen.
Steven, you know all about this tournament, sir. Your thoughts on this?
I'm just super stoked to wipe that tournament clean and leave with the tag team titles that me and Clyde rightfully deserve. And defend.
That's Steven for you, Steven. Steven just knocks out like a wiffle ball bat. Now the win itself puts us as a first round bye in the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Clyde, what do you think about this? And then, of course, Steven, what do you think about this?
Well, me personally, I love it. I love getting a bye. It reminds me of when I wrestled, when I did amateur wrestling. I was always at the top of that bracket, and I always got a bye in the first round. And you know what? If you're the best, you deserve it.
Steven, your thoughts?
I completely agree with Clyde on that one for one. We are the freaking champions, so everybody else needs to prove themselves in the first round before they even get to us. They're lucky that we just don't sit at the top of the tournament and the whole tournament's just for a match with us. That's what should happen. Make that happen, Green Mullet.
Yeah.
I just, this was just brought to my attention, and I'm just, fuming over it.
As soon as I saw it, I knew you had to see it and make everyone aware.
Okay, look, this tag team tournament means the world to me. No one had ever won it back-to-back. I led 2 versions of the Unlucky Charms to winning this tag team tournament. There's a reason why tag teams from all around the entire North American continent contact a certain individual about getting on this. With that being said, we welcome everybody. We welcome every single tag team that wants to come on and be a part of this to please step up to the plate. Step up and try to dethrone the Sevenfold Saints. Because we do what we want to do when we want to do it. And to take a phrase from my man over here, you reap what you sow. With that being said, we're going to take our last break of the evening. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show. We're going to give Steven some more shit about not having his passport right here. The To Be Determined Show live, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Hey, this is Stan Grubb for Wrestle Rage Radio right here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for myself and Smart Rage as we discuss the professional wrestling business from WWE, TNA, and all things in between. We'll have an interview here or there. We'll see what we can do to just keep you entertained. And along the way, we're going to have to bring up some emotion and make you think. That's what we like to do. So join us here on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you at Wrestle Rage.
Hey everyone, this is the Cause, Robert Cosper, host of Cause and Effects Thursday Night Radio Throwdown. This is your invitation to join me, along with the Effects Stuart Couch, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, and all of the craziness that is C&E, right here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. It's Wrestling Radio, with a twist, and some might just say with a twist of lime when the bar is open. Cause and Effect, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Go Planet, the two-minute tournament show live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com. We're talking about the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament and what it means to tag teams out there. If you think that you are a good tag team, for any promoter out there that thinks that they have a good tag team, if you think you have a great tag team, the Sevenfold Saints are calling you out. There's several tag teams out there that say that they want to challenge us. Promoters, get your pocketbook open and book the Sevenfold Saints. Or you can contact GCW about coming on GCW and getting your asses kicked. Because I'm telling you right now, there are no tag teams like the Sevenfold Saints out there. When we win the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament, it'll be 3 years in a row I've led a tag team to the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament Championship. Those belts are going to be on our waist for a very, very long time, and it will be on Clyde Braddock's waist. Man's lost 80 pounds.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And we're not one of those tag teams that takes 500 photos backstage because we get it on the first take. The very first picture is all we need because that's how great it is. When our backstage promos and our backstage pictures look better than the shit you put on in a ring, that should tell you something. And for any tag team out there listening around the world, book it, show up, we'll show you what a real tag team is like. Dropkick Steven Stiles, the Grand Design Clyde Braddock, the Orc of Ominous, Architect of the Wicked Nemesis. When we come to a promotion, you know for a fact you're in for a treat. Because it's not just wrestling, it is working. It is going out entertaining, making tag teams rise to that other atmosphere. An atmosphere that most tag teams can't even breathe. They never get that rarefied air. But when the Sevenfold Saints show up, when the Sevenfold Saints are in the ring with a great tag team, there's magic to be made. And for promoters out there, there's money to be made. That's what it's all about, is making money. But we don't come for cheap. So don't try to call us and try to book us for cheap because it's not going to happen.
I'd still like to see the Brutes come down here.
Sir?
I'd still like to see the Brutes come down here.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yes, the Brutes, man. The Brutes, the Wild Stallions, Cold Cold World. You look at tag teams like the Washington Bullets. You line them up, and we'll knock them down.
DCFC.
Those guys.
Hell, I'd love to see Sevenfold Saints versus DCFC. Dark City.
Oh, you can put the Circle of Disrespect in that. Francisco, Simon Says, you're on the crosshairs too. Don't think just because some fans boo us and some fans boo you guys that you are not in the crosshairs. If you're a tag team out there, you put them across from us, and I'm guaranteeing you right now, this is a guarantee. This is a wicked guarantee. We're going to push your tag team to the very, very limits. And there's nothing that anyone can do about it. When you're trained, when you can go out and make money in any promotion, that says a lot. And that is what's best about the Sevenfold Saints. Not only do we push tag teams to a whole nother level, we also bring in the money. The greenbacks, the euros, because that's what it's all about, making money. Steven, you had a three-way dance, a triple threat for Josh Storm's US UIW title. Friday, yourself and Josh Storm, what are your thoughts going into this triple threat match at UIW? And yes, there is a difference between a three-way dance and triple threat. We don't know which one it's going to be, so we're throwing them both out there. So your thoughts on this?
I am going to drop both the heads off. 1 second. I was on speed. I'm going to drop kick both off and screw their heads on each other and make Fry Storm and Josh Daddy.
I was trying not to laugh.
That is amazing. I love it.
It really is. There was I was over here just fucking trying not to just bust out because he was serious. But that was fucking funny as shit.
Josh Daddy.
Well,
it'd be funny because Josh would be going blackface and and Fry would be going whiteface. It's pretty funny with their bodies anyway. That'd be hilarious.
Now you've been in the ring with Fry Daddy. What do you have up your sleeve for Josh Daddy and Fry Storm?
Well, I don't wear sleeves in the ring, but I'm definitely going to hit him with both my elbows really hard in the facial area. And I'm definitely going to leave with that title, no doubt.
Yeah, you missed Josh said he's going to kick them so hard he's going to put their heads on different bodies. Angie was out of the room. She came in. She's like, "What did you just say?" So, to recap, somebody's getting their face drop kicked off, completely off their head. This is like an Adult Swim version of wrestling. February 21st. I know a lot of people are going to come to see Calm Like a Bomb Pandora against ODB, but the match that they will be talking about is the three-way or the triple threat, whichever how they book it, with Fry Daddy, Josh Storm, and Steven Stiles.
Let's call it a triple threat. I don't like dancing with dudes.
Well, let's talk about it. A triple threat is, the first pinfall. Three-way dance is, multiple pinfalls. Whoever's the last one is the champion. So,
Steve Stiles doesn't dance with men. He dances with wolves.
Right.
I need pictures of that, please.
Oh, that was
and
great.
you guessed it. We tango.
Oh, they tango. Oh, boy. He drops it back up, walks off with him. This is when Keeping It Real goes wrong, I do believe.
Check your production
Josh
chat.
Storm.
Man.
God. He doesn't want to be a guest on Dancing with the Dogs. Eddie. Eddie, say it. Say it. It's okay.
Yeah, Steven Stiles had just admitted that he does not want to be the special guest in Dancing with the Dongs.
I'm definitely not dancing with dong. I dance with wolves. And wolves only.
Could you imagine Steven Stiles in Dancing with the Wolves instead of Kevin Costner? That'd bring a whole new phrase to that movie. That would be an amazing... That'd be a totally different movie.
Well,
It'd actually be a better movie.
They'd save a ton in makeup for hair care products.
I think I just signed myself up for a three-way dance with Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards.
That might turn to a handicap match pretty quick.
That would hurt.
Okay, Steven, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir, and what do you have upcoming?
Everybody can get in touch with me on the Facebook at Steve Stiles, just Steve Stiles, no N. Everybody correct that. No N, Steve Stiles.
Steve Stiles.
And that's right. And Twitter, Instagram, Dropkick Styles. You can email me at dropkickstyles@gmail.com. You can also find me on the Underground website, undergroundstrongstyle.com. And you can get in touch with me through Wicked Nemesis. That is all, folks.
Clyde Braddock, what do you have upcoming, and how can everyone get in touch with you?
Well, let's see. The February 20th, I've got Zion's Gate in Newport Richey, Florida. I'll be in a triple threat match with myself, the Real Deal Mike Cruz, and the Emerald Emperor Simon Says. And I think Saturday, that'll be February 21st. I'll be at Vintage Pro Wrestling, and I will be wrestling none other than the real deal, Mike Cruz. And then the 28th, I've got GCW, and we'll hold off there for February. You can get in touch with me through Facebook, Clyde Braddock. There's only one, and he is awesome. You can hit me up on Twitter. That's at @the_grand_design. Or you could contact the Wicked Nemesis. He's on the line. Call him now. Get us booked. Sevenfold Saints, baby. That was my Thunder Lips impression.
Which was his best acting, period.
WBI.
Oh, you love slaves out there. Thunder Lips is here. In the flesh, baby.
Sorry, WBI desk. This is what happens whenever we have fun. Eddie, what do you have upcoming, sir, for this very website, and how can everyone get in touch with you?
Finding new and creative ways to tell Apple to F off. Just kidding. I have not given up the fight, nor will I give up the fight. I am working channels right now and doing what I do best. I'm working the phones. As one of my musical favorites has said, I have friends in low places, and I've got all of them working on the case right now. So I have not given up the fight for the Apple release for the Beyond Ringside Radio app. Thank you to everybody who has been downloading the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Android, for Amazon Kindle and Fire, for BlackBerry phones and devices, Playbook. Real quick note, for users of Apple products, love you guys. I really do, and I'm being sincere when I say that. Can't you hear it? Go to iTunes, go to your store, and download TuneIn, TuneIn, one word, run it together, TuneIn Radio. It is available and functional for Apple products, iPhones, iPads, all of the above. Do a quick search for Beyond Ringside Radio or Beyond Ringside. It'll pull it up. Click. You'll be able to play the station in its entirety. Live and recorded programming. No, I've never said this before in my life. But, so to everybody who has been asking about Apple, I'm not giving up the fight. But for right now, go ahead, please check it out on TuneIn Radio's mobile app. It is easily accessible. It's a free app. I've got the link over on .com as well as through our social media sites. All you have to do is go through there with your device, click that link, it'll pull it up in the app, and you'll be able to listen. Live and pre-recorded programming right here on Beyond Ringside Radio. Tomorrow, God, I've almost survived February the 11th. That's my dark day in hell. Still got an hour and 3 minutes in my time zone. February the 12th. Cause and Effect return live. I do believe everybody's healthy again, so they'll have some of the latest updates. Robert Cosper, Stuart Couch, and Mad Dog Dan Sawyer will have the latest updates on the Junkyard Dog Memorial Tag Team Tournament slated for February the 28th in Pell City, Alabama, under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling. Going to be a lot of breaking news over the next couple of weeks, kids. Saturday morning, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, 10 Central, 8 Pacific. Beyond Ringside Saturday Showcase, yours truly, along with Ryan Adcock. We're going to be tackling the weekend, and there's a lot to talk about. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this one out there. If y'all would like to email it in, tweet it in, text it in, all of the above. The question we have this week, your top 10 sports movies of all time. Your top 10, not the top 10, your top 10 sports-related movies. So if you want to, shoot them over. We'll go over them on air. From there, Sunday, the trifecta is back. Beyond Ringside Live, 5:30 p.m. Central. Yours truly, Wicked Nemesis, Mark Maybo Bowman. At 8 p.m. Central Time, Wrestle Rage Radio with Smart Rage and Stan Grubb. And at 10 p.m. Central, hopefully the full return of the Midnight Black Mass. A lot of people know that the Rev has undergone a major family crisis. I said it to him the other day, just like I've said it all the way along. Rev, take all the time you need. Family comes first. And as I've said it before, and I'll say it again from me to you, brother. If you need me, I'm there. And if there's anything I can do, just let me know. We got your back. Wick?
The To Be Determined show every Wednesday night live, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. Thank you to Darragh O'Connor for coming on tonight. WVI Desk, the 200th special. I've linked to my Facebook page. Go out and check that out. At Wicked Nemesis on Twitter, the Wicked Nemesis, the Merchants of Death, the Sevenfold Saints, and of course the To Be Determined show and the Unlucky Charms all have Facebook fan pages. Give us a like, shares if you can, and if you feel like it. Guys, it's been an amazing night for Fast Eddie Layne.
This night has flown by, and now it's my turn to fly.
For the Grand Design Clyde Braddock.
Good night.
For Dropkick Steve Stiles.
Good fight. Good night.
For Angie Travis.
Good night.
This is the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Good night, good luck, and as always, leave your week to be determined.